A number of the children have gone the complete opposite and are now just resource-munching little consumers like the millions of other ill-bred little nightmares running around. Hey, free birds. So, like most other girls in this society, I grew up feeling it was my womanly duty to have kids. But did I really want kids? For the longest time, I never questioned whether I was going to have kids. It was always how many and when. I just went along with the baby breeding crowd like it was part of my life purpose or something. That's what you do. You have kids just as you graduate university, and you get married, and you die. It's just part of life. Even though having a baby was one of my biological functions, I was always awkward around babies and felt strange holding them. I was always grossed out by the talcum powder poo smell and how they cried all the time. And just the thought of changing a single shitty diaper would almost make me vomit. I was so relieved to hand them back. Others around me would say, "Oh, you will get used to it." And in my mind, I was like, well, I don't know if I actually want to get used to it. But I buried these feelings deep inside because they weren't accepted by the mainstream. The option not to have a baby was simply not talked about. There is so much pressure on women to have babies. As a young woman, I was never exposed to the idea of not having children. It was like taboo to speak about it. I would see my childhood friends popping out multiple babies and posting their pics proudly on Facebook, and all I could think was, ugh, so glad I don't have one of them. Honestly, I just don't really like babies or kids. That's me. This isn't me having a go at those of you with kids. Not at all. These are just my raw feelings. I think as a mother, you have one of the hardest jobs in the world. 24/7 responsibility, and I do not make light of that, nor do I envy that at all. So it wasn't until my 20s when I came in contact with other girls who also didn't feel clucky that I started seriously reconsidering the fate of my womb. Throughout my teens and early 20s, and to this day, I'm constantly put on the spot about breeding by family, friends, and even strangers. When I was younger, it went something like this. "So, darling, when are you going to have kids?" My mum's friends would question. In the early days, I would say, "Well, I'm not even really thinking about it. I guess I'll know when the time is right." The response seemed to satisfy them. Then in my mid-20s, I decided I was not going to have kids. And oh boy, that's when the comments flooded in and the conversations went sort of like this. "So when are you going to have kids? You're not getting any younger, you know." "Well, I'm actually not. I've decided I'm not having kids." "Oh, why not?" "Are you okay?" You just wait. You will want them soon." "Yes, I'm fine. And no, I won't." There are over 150 million orphans in the world that need homes, so if anything, I would choose to adopt first. But this decision was not made overnight, and I'm very happy with it. You will change your mind. Mark my words, you will regret it in the future if you don't have kids. No, I won't." "How about you mind your own business and stop projecting onto me?" And the conversation goes back and forth like that. It seems our reproductive status as women is everybody's business. I've had comments from generally well-meaning relatives saying, "Oh, well, I guess I'll never be a godmother, grandma, aunt now." I know they are just conditioned to say these things, so I don't take it personally, but it is a little annoying. Another comment, which is probably the worst, is, "Who's going to take care of you when you're old?" What a terrible reason to bring a life into the world. I look after myself, so I plan on looking after myself. Get it? "You will be all alone when you're old." Ugh, these are horrible reasons to have children. Now in the vegan movement, I have people say, "But we need people like you to have kids. Your kids will help change the world for the better." Look, I get this way of thinking, and it sounds nice. However, the reality is often far different. I know a number of vegan families who have raised their children vegan from birth. This is not at all a guarantee that the child will remain vegan into adulthood. A number of the children have gone the complete opposite and are now just resource-munching little consumers like the millions of other ill-bred little nightmares running around. Sad but true. For every child a woman bears, her lifetime emissions increase nearly 6 times. And no, going child-free is not selfish. The people who are selfish are the ones who casually have kids, traumatize them or spoil them, and then send them out into the world as broken human beings. It is selfish to have a child you can't afford to take care of. Wouldn't it be supremely selfish of me bringing an unwanted child into the world just because society expected me to? Some people would say it's selfish to spread one's DNA when there are already over 7 billion people in the world with over 150 million orphans. Bringing kids into this world is a massive responsibility. Have you stopped to think how expensive it is to have a kid in this modern world? According to the US Department of Agriculture, it will cost nearly $250,000 for a middle-income couple to raise a child for 18 years. This doesn't even include the cost of college. At the same time, wages aren't keeping up. Parenting also takes a lot of time. Experts say that it takes at least 8 hours a day to raise 2 children to the age of 18. As a parent, you will have limited time and energy for your own pursuits. Many parents suffer by missing sleep, not making enough time for exercise, not bonding enough with their child as they work full time, and also have neglected marriages that end in divorce. The reality is women are often seen as baby machines. It's become like an assembly line, and girls, you do not have to be part of that cycle. It's your choice, and you should never feel ashamed but strong and empowered for not choosing to have children. And you won't be alone either. 1 in 5 American women in the USA, for example, will not be having a biological child. And I know you are concerned about contraception, and I will talk about that in another video. But for now, remember girls, it's not our moral obligation to have kids. It's not our duty as women to use our uterus. Never make light of bringing a life into this world. A child is not a toy you can take back to the toy shop when it's broken. A child is for life. And girls, welcome to the otherhood. Now I'm just going to include some snippets from our child-free life in Ecuador. See you next video. Muchas gracias, Robin.
Muchas gracias. Oh,
That's cool. Yeah.
Gracias.
Gracias. Bread with apple.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
La papa. Empanada. Oh. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's not.
Yeah, off the right.
Oh, the other one though was off the road. Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh, it's okay. So we found this really nice restaurant, this vegetarian restaurant, and they serve vegan food as well. And looks good, lentils and...
Yeah, this is like a local dish here. Lentils, brown rice, some red cabbage, really nutritious because of the color. And we got some...
We got electric fence.
Electrical!
And we've got this. I can hear the electric fence, look.
Yeah. This one is fucking on.
Yeah, this is on. And that glass is real. It makes me wonder what they're hiding inside. Look at this amazing breakfast. I've got tamarind, orange, which is called naranja, I think, bananas, not sure about this fruit, got a bit of sugar on it, strawberries, piña, pineapple, granadilla, oh the best, passion fruit, and this like titty fruit, it looks like a titty, like a boob, and papaya, so good.